Hey everyone, I'm Rachel.
And I'm David.
Join us for a tour of our balcony cabin on the Carnival Firenze. Let's go! Welcome to our balcony on the Carnival Firenze. To start, we're going to look at what's just inside the door, which are these hooks, and I'm already making use of them. Basically, they're just, pretty sturdy hooks. Well, this one's not so sturdy. It just depends on which one you use, but we always bring magnetic hooks. I highly recommend doing that because you can put them anywhere around the room. It's all magnetic, and these should be pretty stable, but those will be, guaranteed to have them. And next, we're going to go on to the closet. There's actually 3 separate closet spaces with 3 separate doors, which is kind of interesting considering they are all kind of serving the same function. We're going to start with the one closest to the door, and it opens out that way. And that is where all of your long hanging space is. So if you have dresses, pants, things like that, it goes all the way full length. And there is a full length mirror attached to it. So this is pretty good. There's a light right above it when you have it open. And your next section is for some short hanging clothes. There's no hangers in this side, but you can take some from the other side if you want. And then there's a weird shelf dividing the 2 spaces. I kind of think it's a weird setup because most like t-shirts and just shirts in general are still probably going to hit that shelf if you hang them in this space. So it's kind of weird. But then there's some storage in the bottom as well. That's probably where we'll put our suitcases once we're unpacked. And your last section of your closet is some shelving. So you have your life vests at the top. Always know where those are. That's important. And then you have a shelf underneath that leads to your safe. And it's a pretty small safe. It's, very small. You can really only fit your valuables in there. But yeah, it'll work. And then more shelves, including some drawers, which they are not soft close. They're a decent size, not too big, not too small, but they're pretty loud. So you won't want to open those when somebody's sleeping. And on the other side of your closet is your bathroom door. And just like every other cruise ship, the light switch is right outside the door. And then you can go inside. When you first enter the bathroom, you have all of your towels against the far wall. And right below it, a grab bar, just in case it's rocky and you need some stability, as well as a mirror that is right next door. So it's a little tiny, vanity mirror, and you can do your makeup in it or whatever, but that's actually right next to your main vanity mirror. So you have some shelves on each side of the vanity mirror, 3 shelves. I actually think it's a pretty good amount of space. And on that one side, you actually have the shaver port. So this is a lower voltage. You cannot use like your curling irons and hair dryers in here, just a shaver. But that leads you to the main mirror. And it is pretty good lighting. The lighting's like emanating from the mirror itself. So that's pretty nice. And there are your shelves on the other side, as well as some tissues and a little cup for maybe your toothbrush. They unfortunately do not give you liquid hand soap. Womp womp. But I actually brought some with me. That's a tip I would always recommend. And here's just your little sink. It's kind of like a fake marble situation.
Yeah.
But it looks clean, so that's good. Under the vanity, you have some extra toilet paper and some extra tissues, as well as sanitary napkin bags and your trash can for the bathroom. And then you also have your toilet paper that leads right to your toilet. And your shower on the ship is actually enclosed in glass instead of the icky shower curtains. So that is one really big pro. It's still a little bit small, but at least it's not a curtain. And then we go inside the shower and you see the shower head. It doesn't look that great. It doesn't look like it's going to have that much pressure, but it does have a couple of settings. So we'll update you guys at the end of the video. And there is a clothesline. So in case you need to hang up wet bathing suits or something like that, you can hang them directly in your shower because you should never put them on your balcony. And the shower head is adjustable, and that leads to your shower gel and shampoo. And this is not branded. And then down below that, there is a little shelf. And when I say little, I mean it. So please bring your own stuff, but you're not going to have very much space to put it in here. And then the controls for the shower are right below it. And on the other side of your shower, you have a grab bar in case it's rocky seas and you need some more stability while you're in there.
All right, and right outside the bathroom door is your thermostat. Now, this one's very, very basic. You can only see if it's cool or warm. There is no number indicator telling you how warm or how cold it actually is in your room, which some people really like. They're not particularly fancy. These are very, very simple. But I will say, when we first came into this room, it was actually pretty cool. It was one of the colder cruise ship rooms we've had, and we are in Mexico right now. So I'm pretty impressed. First impressions, very impressed. So right next to that, you also have another little hook, and this one's ready to fall out, so I'm not going to touch it. All right, and you have a desk area here. We're going to show you the whole thing. It's very, very large. In my opinion, it's actually one of the better desk sizes we've had on a cruise ship. And over here, to start with, are three pretty large shelves. Now, I don't know how many people are going to be using this one too much, because if you put stuff up there, it might be easy to forget about. But it is nice to have it anyway. If there's something you just want out of your way, that's a good place to put it. But right here is pretty nice. This is eye level for me. About half an arm's length worth of surface here. I think that's actually really, really nice. And then just below that, you have your stateroom phone. It's actually not a bad looking phone. It actually looks fairly new compared to the rest of the room. And you got some quick numbers there for easy access. Nothing too crazy. But directly next to that, you have some outlets here. So right here you have your USB plug, another USB plug, and then this is actually a shaver port, it looks like. This is a very weird design. So I think that's only for some shavers. Over here you have a US plug. A US plug. This middle part doesn't do anything, don't worry about that. And then over here, you have a light switch to your vanity light. And then an international plug right here. Okay, and down below the tabletop here on the far right is actually your refrigerator. Now, let's see if it feels... Actually, the shelves are very cold. This is actually pretty nice. I feel a little bit of air moving around in there, so I think there is some circulation happening. But overall, it's only good for a handful of sodas, basically. Maybe some of the smaller alcoholic beverages, little tiny bottles. But next to that, you have your drawer, which has a hairdryer, which I don't know. Someone needs to tell me if that's a good brand or not.
It's a bad brand. I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, so it's one of those ones where you got to hold it for it to do anything. It's kind of grindy. I hear it like spinning up kind of.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Not good. And then there's some laundry papers, a branded pencil in here with the Carnival brand on it for you. And the little notepads in here too. So those are all pretty. It's nice to have those little notepads. Those are actually pretty handy. So other than that, that's the only drawer space right here. Down below that, you have a stool with a hair on it.
Apparently that's a theme.
Now this seat is actually pretty cushiony, but I don't know if you'd want to sit on it for very long. It doesn't have a back to it. So, nothing too exciting. And then you got a regular trash can. These Carnival rooms don't make you separate your trash from your recycle. It just all goes in the same bin. And up here you get a couple of cups included, but these drinks are not included. They're $5 each, and it's just regular water, so nothing too special. All right, and now you have your stateroom TV. Pretty much all the Carnival rooms and Princess, all the Carnival Corporation ships, all use these LG TVs or some version of them. I think they're actually got pretty nice quality to them. I don't think they look too bad. The colors are pretty vibrant. So I actually kind of like these TVs. They're a decent size for when you're sitting up on the bed. It doesn't feel too small or too big or anything. So the main thing we talk about with the TVs is how you hook your own stuff up to them. There are ports on the side where you're supposed to be able to plug your stuff in. Now, I'll give it a try, but historically on Carnival, we haven't had much luck, particularly this ship. We've noticed that they can block those HDMI ports, and there's not much you can do about it. Even they're like doing it remotely, so it's kind of hard to bypass. So I probably wouldn't mess with it. These TVs are on there too, man. Like, this is one of the strongest mounts I've seen. For us, we're probably going to just leave it alone. May probably not mess with it. I also hear it's very, very difficult to unplug stuff too. So don't mess with it too much. It's okay. Just watch it on your laptop or your tablets and you'll be okay.
And now we're to kind of the sitting area of the room. It is a pretty spacious room, actually. But there's this weird lamp thing. I think it's a lamp, but there's no switch anywhere to turn it on. And we've hit every single switch in the room. So don't know what's going on with that. But that's right beside your couch. And it does have a bed in it. So if you have more than 2 people, somebody can sleep on this. But it's kind of dusty / worn. It's not really the right color anymore. So don't really think I would really want to lay on it, to be honest. But as far as sitting, It's kind of like a memory foam, like you sink into it and it doesn't bounce. So it's not uncomfortable, but it's not like the most comfortable thing in the world. And also, they gave us our pool towels, which Carnival is really strict about their towels. So make sure that you have 2 towels in your room at the end of the cruise, or they will charge you. And right in front of your couch, you do have a little coffee table. And it's got the same kind of weird fake marble on the top, as well as a shelf underneath. This will be pretty nice because you can put drinks here, food, laptops, anything that you need. And between your couch and your bed is your first of 2 nightstands. Now, this nightstand does have a built in lamp, and you just turn it on at the base. It's a very warm light. And then it has a little shelf down below, which it looks like there's some extra linens down there, but you could store probably some smaller items. It doesn't close softly, so it's a little bit loud. And as you can see, there are no plugs right here. So you are going to have to access any plugs or have an extension cord or anything like that from the desk over to this side of the bed.
All right, and on the other side of the bed, you have the same lamp set up, that really nice warm light. And behind that, you have the light for above your bed. It gets very dark when you turn that off. And then you have a regular USB plug, a regular USB plug. No American outlets, no international outlets over here. Really unfortunate. I don't know why they do this in cruise ships, even especially the ones they remodel, because they know people need these plugs for sleeping machines and stuff like that. So really unfortunate, but at least you have something. We have been in rooms where you didn't have anything, so
Yeah.
counting our blessings a little bit there. But unfortunate, in my opinion.
And now it is time for our bed test. And I will say before I get on it that we have slept in beds on the ship before and we were not very impressed. You can ask your stateroom steward for a bed topper if you want a softer bed because these are historically very firm, but you have to do it really early on embarkation day or else they'll run out. So I'm going to give it a test and see if it's the same as the other beds. It is definitely not soft, but it's not like super hard, I don't think. It has a lot of bounce. It's just not comfortable. It's kind of like an old box spring type situation. Like it's definitely not anything that's newer, even though these rooms were supposedly remodeled a couple of years ago. I feel like this bed might have stayed from the previous incarnation of the room. So I'm gonna give this like a 2.5 out of 10.
All right, and now it's my turn. And after Rachel's glowing review, I'm very excited about it. So I do vaguely remember hating these beds. So I think she's probably right this time. Dude, there's like just there's nothing when you do it. It's just all bounce. It's so weird. The pillows aren't horrible. They're okay, like pretty middle of the road.
The pillow was a high spot in the bed for me.
Oh, but I can like feel my back already kind of seizing up on this. And so for me, this is like a 2, maybe a 2.5 out of 10. Just because for my personal preference, it's not good. It's almost unacceptable to me in a way that you would refurbish the whole room and then kind of neglect the bed when people are looking to get like some of their best sleep ever on their vacations.
And now to the reason you're probably watching this, the balcony. So unlike other cruise ship balconies we've had, there's not just one big sliding glass door, there is a big window and a door. And I actually really like the window setup. It's, straight across, you could store things on it, you could use it as kind of an extended nightstand if you're on this side of the bed, and you can sit in the bed and watch outside the window, or you can go outside. And the door situation is very much like a normal door. You actually just have to unlock this piece here at the top before you can open it, and then you just turn to go outside. And this is your balcony. So we are still shaded a little bit from the elements. We have something above us, but it's not super enclosed. There's walls on each side, but they don't go all the way up. So you may still see or hear your neighbors occasionally. And we do have 2 chairs as well as a little side table. And they're sitting in the sun right now, which if you love sunbathing, this would be perfect for you. And it's actually pretty deep. It has a good amount of space. Like you don't have footstools out here, but you probably could. And it's just overall a nice view, a nice balcony, a good amount of space. Thanks for joining us for our tour of our balcony on the Carnival Firenze. We have stayed in a cove balcony as well on this ship, so A lot of the things are very similar, I think, between the two, but obviously the balcony is a little bit different. You do have a normal cruise ship balcony. So just your normal half panel and then the sky around you. There's no obstructions in this room. We are in 7295, so that might change depending on where on the ship you are, but it's actually a pretty nice view out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous. It's pretty much exactly what you expect from your balconies. I think we usually suggest, if you're going to a bucket list place or a place that's super scenic, that it's worth paying for the upgrade to get the balcony. For me, I actually like the balconies that are a little bit covered. I feel like you get a little more time out there without getting beat up by the sun too much. But obviously, a lot of people out there are looking to sunbathe. So those kind of balconies, you really kind of want to look at the pictures for those kinds of things to make sure that they kind of cover what you want. And everyone's looking for something a little bit different, I feel like. But for us, we kind of just go out there and whale watch, and we'll only be out there for, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes, and then get back inside. So I actually really like this setup because it has the window and you can kind of keep an eye out from the inside. And it's not one of those tinted windows. Some cruise lines have like a blue tint over their windows, so it's kind of hard to look out. But
Yeah.
this one's actually pretty nice, and it's actually stayed pretty clean, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to point out. The only real difference between this and a normal balcony we've seen on other cruise lines is there's actually a door that you go out that's just like a normal door and a picture window. So that's a little bit different. Normally there's a sliding glass door that has a blue tint, like David said, and it can be kind of hard to see through at times. So this is really clear. We've been able to see whales from the bed, which is like really, really cool. So I would definitely recommend getting the balcony on this ship. I don't think for most of their sailings it's that much more expensive.
Yeah, and I like actually having the half door versus the sliding door. I never really feel like the sliding door closes all the way, but this one has like a good feedback. Like it feels like it actually locked in place. So I actually really appreciate that. So this is actually my preferred setup.
And as far as the rest of the room, it is very similar to the Cove balcony. The ship needs a little bit of TLC, even in the rooms, even though it is only a few years old at this point. Everything was fairly clean, but there are scuffs on the wall, there are stains on the couch, and so just kind of know what you're getting yourself into on a ship like this where they do have a lot of turnover. They're very short cruises, and yeah, the bed, unfortunately, not the greatest.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
Even with the added padding, it didn't really help too much. That's probably the biggest issue for me in this room. And, we mentioned it, but some people like the firmer beds. This one's kind of like a wonky in between. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe because I've never really laid on anything like it. The bounciness makes it so it's not so firm, but it is still really firm. I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but it's just not for me. I think there's a lot of better options out there bed-wise.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say the shower pressure is a little better than in our previous room. So water pressure's okay, and everything else is just pretty standard.
Yeah, I like that the shower being enclosed was actually really,
Yes.
really nice. And even though some water does like kind of sprinkle out a little bit. And if I had my choice, I think I would just go with the regular balcony over the Cove balcony. And that's only because of location.
Yeah.
I think being a little bit closer to some of the action and a little bit further away from, cruise spaces and stuff like that, I think really makes a big difference. Being in the center of where all the staterooms pretty much are is like pretty awesome because the cruise lines obviously aren't going to do stuff around those areas.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my head's at. I do like the design of the Cove balcony better, but it really does come down to the location. I think the regular balcony is just at better location. So,
Yeah. But what do you think? Have you sailed on the Carnival for? No, freak. Let me start. But what do you think? Have you sailed on the Carnival Firenze? Do you have any opinions about balcony cabins or Cove balconies or even any of the other cabin types? Let us know in the comments.
yeah.
And if you enjoy this video and want to see more travel content from us, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. But for now, I'm Rachel.
And I'm David.
And we hope this video helped you find the right direction for your next adventure.
Bye.
Bye.